fast, accurate. With Jennifer Copeland and Rick Schutt. You're watching WSBT 22 News at 6.
New at 6, candidate under fire. Less than a week after throwing his hat in the ring, a man running for South Bend mayor is facing questions about his eligibility.
Now, WSBT-22's Kelly Stopczynski is looking into a challenge St. Joseph County's Democratic Party filed against one of its own. Kelly?
Rick, it has to do with where Democrat mayoral candidate David Frank lives and his criminal past. But he says neither of those issues should keep his name off the primary ballot. I apologize for that. We're having trouble getting the video for this story, obviously. So the issue here has to do with where Frank lives. He lives in South Bend right now, but he also owns, according to tax records, a home in northern St. Joseph County. He told me he's having marital issues and says this is none of the Democratic Party's business, his marital problems with his wife. And he says he has lived in that South Bend home since June. So he says it should make him more than eligible for the general election, according to Indiana law, but the Democratic Party says that might not be true. They're also questioning 2 felony convictions, and here is Frank's story as he told it to me today.
We just got a lot of work yet to do.
This is where David Frank says he's lived for the past 9 months, a house his friend owns on Parkova Street in South Bend.
And I've been spending most of my time here ever since June, when Pat was nice enough to rent it to me, and that's what I do. I work on the house.
According to county tax records, Frank owns this house on Burtonwood Drive in St. Joseph County. This was also the address on his voter registration card until last Thursday. He changed it the day he filed his candidacy for mayor. Indiana's election administrator's manual says Indiana law requires many candidates to have resided in their election district for at least 1 year prior to the general election.
It's important for the integrity of elections. People, when you vote for someone, you just assume that they live in the same area that you do. That's the entire point of an election, is you are choosing someone to represent you, your neighbors, and your community.
I don't think that the Democratic Party should have any business looking into my relationship with my wife. I think our marital situation is our business.
Frank says that marital situation is why he stays in the South Bend home.
This is where I hang out.
He showed us this mattress on the floor, the only furniture in the whole place.
It's nothing fancy.
But the residency question is not the Democratic Party's only issue with Frank.
If you have a felony conviction, that makes you ineligible to run for a local or state office.
Frank doesn't deny 2 convictions for selling drugs to undercover police officers in 1977.
38 years ago.
But his record's been expunged, meaning it technically doesn't exist.
Our judicial system needs to be changed in our community, too. Because once you make a mistake, you go through your whole life with this mistake. And I think once you pay for your mistake, that should be it.
So what happens next? Well, right now, this is all in the hands of the county election board. It's already scheduled to meet tomorrow afternoon. The members will then schedule a hearing on these challenges for a future date and decide Frank's eligibility. I reached out to Indiana's election division to get their take on this. I'm still waiting to hear back. Frank, who is 66 years old, says he's running for mayor because he wants to improve the city for future generations. Rick?
Kelly, thanks.